Hello, Tyler here with Falcon Asphalt Repair Equipment. Today we're going to put in service a 4-ton dual burner HotBox recycler. We'll start out here at the front with our fully adjustable hitch assembly. We have lots of levels of adjustability here, depending on what type of truck you're hooking it up to, whether it's a taller one or a shorter one. You can find the right height and set this hitch to the right height. You want to make sure that the chassis is riding as level as possible at all times, not only to make it pull behind the truck nicer, but as well to prevent excessive tire wear and damage. So always adjust that to the right height. Right here, you'll find your safety chains, your electric brake tether, as well as your trailer harness. We wire this with a hot center pin from the factory, which is most commonly found on the trucks to be a hot center. You can actually pull 12 volts from the truck while in an operation to help maintain those batteries and keep them fresh. Behind that is going to be your standard jack here, as well as your 3-position tool holder. All these items are going to be on the curb side of the machine. We want to keep you out of the way of oncoming traffic and on the safe side of the machine as much as possible. You'll notice this walking around this machine today, that just about everything is on the curb side of the machine. Behind these two guys is going to be our electro over hydraulic pump box. Inside here is our electric pump, as well as the AW46 hydraulic reservoir and the corded tether to control the dump of this machine. If you take the tether out, you'll see that it's got a nice long cord. It's plenty long to reach to the back of the machine, so you can keep an eye on what you're doing, as well as keep an eye on oncoming traffic, again, for safety. Operation is a simple 2 buttons, up and down, and on the back you do have magnets to stick to the side of the machine. We'll do a quick operation here to show you it's powered up and gravity down. Very, very simple to operate, and as you'll see here, the tether easily reaches to the back of the machine and hangs on the side. Directly behind the hydraulic pump box is going to be your hydraulic ram block. So this is for when doing maintenance or repairs and you have the machine in its upright position. You can put this block on the hydraulic cylinder to prevent it from coming down in your workspace. Directly below that is going to be our twin deep cycle marine grade batteries. These are what actually powers the machine. Even though you're running diesel to burn, you're not using diesel to operate the machine. These batteries are what power the electronics, the fan, the burners, etc. So it's imperative that we keep these charged up and well maintained for long service life. We make that easy on you, though, by integrating a fully automatic charging system directly down below the batteries. It's simply operated using this standard 110 volt outlet. We recommend that you keep a extension cord handy that's at least 10 gauge and no longer than 50 feet. We will be pulling over 10 amps through it, so you want to make sure that it's on a circuit that's capable of delivering at least 10 amps. It will automatically charge these batteries from dead to full in about 4 hours. It will also maintain and refresh. Meaning at the end of every time that you use this machine, plug it in, whether you're using it the next morning or you're using it again in a month or two, it's imperative that you just leave it plugged in. It will take it and handle it all by itself. We will keep those batteries refreshed and ready for you no matter how long it sits. So at the end of your long days, just make sure to plug it in. We'll go over more maintenance a little later, but it's imperative that we talk about that importance to keep it plugged in. Here at the side of the machine, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the frame and option mounting points. So our frame is made out of 2x6 by 1/4 inch tubular steel. We are full depth welded at every point and reinforced with wraparound gussets. The gussets go all the way around, so there's no way for water to get in, and they are full depth welded themselves. You'll also notice the mounting points here. That is for our options that can be purchased and added after the sale. At any point, you can add our common and most popular ones like a 30-gallon heated tack tank, a spray system for the tack, or even compactor baskets. Mount right up to these bolt holes with no modification of the machine whatsoever. Walking back here, you'll see our hopper access platform here is very slip resistant and easy to get on. We also have a nice large grab handle here so you can keep 3 points of contact at all times. Once you're up here, you'll see that the hopper is at a nice, easy level. You can not only check on your material and see the level that you're at, but you can also get a tool in here to help you ease cleaning out of the machine at the end of the day. Here to my right, you'll see our chimney. This chimney is rated to continue to burn at 60 miles an hour while you go down the highway. So there's no reason to have to restart the machine after you get to your destination. You can actually set it at the asphalt plant to temperature and get all the way to the job site without losing any temperature in your box whatsoever. Here on the front of the machine, you're going to see a gray box that holds our delay start timer. This timer is very simple and mechanical. It's easy to control and operate, and it's very reliable. The way that you easily set it here is you pull out on the yellow dial, you set the current time with the lower needle here to what the time is currently, and then you take the set screw here, loosen that, and change that to whatever time you want it to actually trip on. Once you've done that and you have the rear set at the temperature that you want it to run at, you simply flip this switch to off, go ahead and plug it into AC power. Once that happens, this timer will start to rotate. Once it gets to your desired time, it will flip the switch into the on position and your machine will light up and begin to burn. This is incredibly handy when recycling asphalt. You're able to load your material the day before, have it set to come on at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and burn while you're at home. When you come into work at 7 o'clock in the morning, you'll have ready to go asphalt waiting for you, all because of this simple timer. Here with the hopper slightly raised, we have easy access to both the burners. You can see the lower burner fires directly into a combustion chamber. This is what is going to provide us with our incredible fuel efficiency. We're only burning between 2.5 and 3 gallons of fuel per 8-hour shift with each of these burners. When we fire the fuel directly into this combustion chamber, it rotates it and enters into our actual burn box. Then the heat spreads out from there, going all the way up to the top caps. This provides a very even, very uniform burn and heating inside the hopper. Up here we do have our secondary burner. This is what's going to fire directly into the cross member on the inside of the hopper. This is used for recycling purposes. When we activate both of them at the same time, you're not only heating the material from the outside in, but also from the inside out simultaneously, giving an incredible amount of heat very evenly, very quickly. The recycler burner burns at about 97,000 BTUs, and the lower one burns at 105,000 BTUs, and they are both Beckett units. Very easy to maintain, and we'll go over the maintenance procedures in a little bit here. Here at the side of the machine, we're going to go over how the loading doors work. So you'll notice 2 safety pins, top and bottom here. You want to release both of those pins prior to activating the doors. Once those pins are released, you'll pull the handle straight out towards you and down towards the machine. Once it's safely in its position down here, you want to replace the lower pin for safety. Now that the door's in its upright position, take notice to how it's angled. It is angled this way on purpose to help guide material from the asphalt plant into the hopper. Our top cap here is also angled in towards the hopper in order to help guide material further in. We do, however, recommend that before closing these doors after you've gotten a load of asphalt, to go ahead with gloved hands or a tool to make sure that the capping channel is clean of material before shutting those doors. The rear unloading door is also operated from right here on the curb side of the machine. You have the handle here and you have the safety pin here. We're going to keep you on the curb side and over here so you can keep an eye on oncoming traffic as well as see how much material is coming out of the door. It's operated simply by pulling down on this handle and the safety pins right here that will fall into place to hold it in position. In order to release the door, you will have to take the weight off the door, or off the pin rather, release the pin and slide the door down. This will occur whether it's in the metered position or the fully open position. Always take the weight off the door, then pull the pin. Here at the rear of the machine, we have our NEMA 3 rated control box. Once you open this up, you'll be able to see 4 toggle switches, a digital display, and a green LED. The toggle switches on the right are simply to do operate the lights. So you have the light switch, which is going to do the flashing lights and your beacon. Directly below that is work lights. You flip them on and you'll see the adjustable LEDs light up for when you're working either at the early mornings or late at nights. You'll be able to illuminate your job site. On the right hand side, you have your hopper switches. The top is hopper, the below is the recycle. The recycle is slave to the hopper, meaning it does nothing unless this is activated. The only time you would have them both on is when you are in fact recycling. Anytime you're transporting material, even after a recycle, if you're just transporting the material at that point, you'll turn the recycle off and just use the hopper switch. Once we flip the hopper switch to the on position, you'll see a short boot up sequence here on the digital display, and then we'll see the interior temperature of the HotBox. The flashing light here on the left indicates that we are in fact calling for heat at this moment. In order to set the desired temperature that you want to keep the material at, you press the first button here on the left, and then you have up and down buttons here on the right. Once you've set the desired temperature, the burners will run up until it achieves that temperature. Once it achieves that temperature, it will allow the temperature to come back down 10 degrees and then fire again until you reach the desired temperature. So there's a 10-degree swing in there, pre-programmed. Directly below, you'll see the VIP light here. This little green light indicates that there is in fact enough voltage in the batteries to operate the burner. Beckett has specific requirements for the burner that say that once you get down to a certain voltage level in the batteries, that we shut the machine off. We do this automatically for you, taking the thought out of it. When this light turns off, there's no longer a green light there, the burners will no longer function to protect themselves. The rest of the machine will continue to operate as normal. Your dump functions, your lights, etc. will continue to operate as normal, but the burners will not fire until you plug the unit back in and raise that voltage level back up. You can do this via an on-site generator, plugging it into the truck, or plugging it into a wall. It will automatically handle it, bring that voltage back up, and the burners will resume service. Our safety outriggers are here and here for if you ever have to unhook it from the truck. You can run these down to the down position and prevent it from actually tipping back while operating the dump assembly. They're just there for safety, and they do not need to be dropped when attached to a truck. So just keep that in mind if you ever have to unhook from the truck. The rear deck here is fully heated. We bring the heat all the way out to here to ensure that the material built up on the platform stays heated and pliable and usable when you're traveling from hole to hole. It also helps to throw heat into the door. That being said, both the door and the rear platform are hot. They are hot points. The rest of the machine is 3-wall insulated and ceramic insulated for that matter. This is going to keep the heat inside the box very efficiently. The triple wall design means that you can have 300-degree material inside the box and lean on the outside of the box without burning yourself. It will rarely get higher than actual ambient temperature. So that's a very safe thing, but I like to point out that the rear door and the platform, as well as the chimney, are actual hot points on this machine. Underneath our rear hinges here on both sides are going to be 2 zerts on either side. So you've got 4 grease zerts on either side. On the wheels over here in the center of the hubs are grease zerts, as well as 1 more grease zert in there, for a total of 10 grease zerts on this machine. Directly above, you will find our 15-gallon fuel tank. It is made out of steel and it pulls fuel from the front, but we have a flexible straw running to the back. So it will continue to burn and operate even at full dump. Now I'd like to take a moment to talk about maintenance of the machine. We do have a sticker here on the side to help refresh you if you do forget, but to go over it once real quick, daily maintenance is going to be plugging it in for power to keep those batteries charged and fresh. Topping off the fuel tank here to make sure that you always have enough fuel to get through an entire day's work. And 3 is cleaning out the hopper. It's very important to remove as much material out of the hopper after the job is done as possible. This ensures even and thorough heating every time, as well as a long service life on your box. So those 3 things again are plug it in, fuel it up, and clean out the hopper. On a daily basis, that's what you want to make sure to do. On a monthly basis, we're just going to go around the machine and make sure all 10 of those grease zerks have a pump or two of grease into them, just to ensure that we always have fresh grease in all those bearings. On a biannual to annual maintenance schedule, you're going to replace the nozzle, the CAD cells, and the fuel filter. The fuel filter is easy to see right here on the side, and it's also easy to access because it provides us with a petcock on the bottom that allows you to release water from the fuel, as it's also a water fuel separator. You want to make sure to do that periodically, especially if you let it sit for long periods of time and there might be water buildup in your tank. The fuel nozzle is inside the Beckett burners as well as the CAD cell. Those are the other two things that you're going to do on an annual basis. We do provide your first change for you included inside. We do recommend that you order the tune-up kit that we provide directly from Falcon. It is one part number and includes everything that you'll need to do a annual maintenance on each of the burners. The top one is different, slightly different than the bottom one, so make sure that you order the two separate part numbers if you do have a recycler HotBox. These tune-up kits come with the fuel filter, the nozzle, the CAD cell, and all necessary gaskets, and can easily be acquired through your local dealer. So now that we've walked around the machine and gone over the basic controls and functions, I'd like to take a moment to talk about usage scenarios. So first and foremost, let me start by saying always consult the MSDS sheet for the particular specific product that you are using. Each product's going to have its own flashpoints and temperature recommendations. So always make sure that you consult that to get the official recommendations for that particular product. That being said, there is also no need to preheat this machine. This machine is an air jacketed machine, not an oil jacketed machine. So there's no need to get it warm prior to getting material in it. For instance, if you actually get it too hot prior to getting asphalt in it, the asphalt can burn to the skin very rapidly. So what we recommend is that you wait till you get to the plant and actually get material in the hopper before turning it on. By the time you're at the job site, you'll have either heated it up from the plant or at least maintained the temperature from the plant. It does not take long for our machine to get hot at all. That being said, the most common material that you're going to haul in this is going to be hot mix asphalt. And generally speaking, hot mix asphalt likes to be at about 280 degrees. That's whether you're recycling it or just transporting it from the plant to the job site. So 280 degrees is a very good number to set the temperature at and leave it there. Cold mix is very different. Cold mix will burn at that temperature. So we want to make sure that cold mix never exceeds 120 degrees. It will begin to burn anything above that. So never set it above 120 degrees. And it's very important to remember if you switch between hot mix and cold mix to remove entirely all the hot mix material out of there prior to introducing cold mix. Cold mix never actually sets up like hot mix. So you can actually leave cold mix in the hopper and use it, warm it up and use it, and then let it cool down, warm it up and use it, etc. Throughout your time. But hot mix, you have to make sure to remove all the material when you're done using it, as it will set up in your hopper. There is also a new material called warm mix asphalt. This material is designed to be somewhere between cold mix and hot mix, so we recommend that you never exceed 250 degrees with that material. But again, please consult the MSDS sheet for that, as it is a relatively new thing. We're finding a lot of variation in the temperature recommendations. One of the last things is holding material. So holding material overnight is something that our box is very good at. We can hold material for up to 72 hours. However, we do recommend that you never hold overnight lower than half of a hopper full. If you're down below half a hopper, there's just not enough material in there to absorb the amount of heat we're going to throw at it. So never hold overnight with less than half a hopper full. We do recommend as full as possible. For instance, if you go to the asphalt plant in the evening to hold overnight to use it first thing the next morning is a common usage scenario. But if you are out in the field and you're using material and for some reason you can't use the entire hopper, you can bring it back and hold it overnight. We recommend that you reduce the temperature down from 280 down to about 220 degrees to prevent burning overnight. First thing in the morning when you arrive, you just turn it back up to 280, and within a short amount of time, you will have usable, pliable material again. Now, with that being said, I'd also like to caution that when the box gets down to less than a foot of material in there, which is pretty empty, you're just going to want to turn those burners off, whether you're going to use it or not. The box holds its heat in there very, very well. So we want to make sure that if you're down below a foot of material, you're not throwing fresh heat at it. Just go ahead and shut it off. There's plenty of heat left in the machine to keep that material usable until you can remove it. So if you're below a foot of material, just go ahead and shut the machine down. That brings me to cleaning out the box at the end of the day. As I said before, it's extremely important once you're done with hot mix to clean the box out. Using a shovel or a scraper is the easiest way to get most of the material out while it's still hot. Then you're going to want to let the box cool down prior to applying any cleaning solvent or cleaning agents. We recommend highly against using diesel. Diesel combusts itself at 170 degrees. So to avoid the risk of fire or injury, we recommend against using diesel on this machine in any way. Soy-based solvents are a fantastic product. They have a very high flash point. They're very safe and EPA friendly, and they do a very, very nice job of cleaning out the machine at the end of the day. Just make sure that at the end of the day, you're plugging it in, filling it up, and cleaning it out. In closing, I'd like to thank you for your time today and remind you, if you have any further questions, to contact your local Falcon dealer or visit us at www.falconrme.com.